Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti along with Samantha Perry. But Brian will be joining us a little later this afternoon. And boy, what a busy morning we have. We got a real good show for you this morning. Lots of things going on. We'll start it off by telling you about track is fast, turf is firm. We got the Tapeta. And we got about $400,000 guesstimate in the Rainbow Six. We should hit that with ease today.
Yeah, we should. It's
450, excuse me.
All right.
All
So
right.
they're up in the ante here today. Great stakes racing in this pick six today. And, of course, Ron, nobody hits it today. We roll in tomorrow to the mandatory.
Mandatory payout.
Regardless, yeah.
Regardless, it's mandatory payout. We'll see if it lasts. They've been knocking on the door the last couple of days. We got a lot to get to. So let's show you Brian's early pick 5 ticket, and we'll just jump right into it today.
We will. Look at that.
$54. We'll talk about this first race. He went 3 deep. I think he's got the logical horses up there, with the 7 horse. I think it's going to take a lot of money from Mark Cassie. Race number 2, he went 3 deep in there. The big favorite, I think, is going to be Grand Golden Road, one of the horses you use. Race 3, he went 3 deep in there. He's got a couple of really interesting horses in there. I like the 10 myself, Rapture Bay, 9 to 5 on the morning line. And there's his single. Back in business in race number 4. That horse, 9 to 5 on the morning line. Lots of coverage in race number 5 this afternoon. That's that the Peter race. Lost one of the interesting horses in the scratches. Not a lot of big scratches today, but that one was sort of one. So $54 for Brian in the early pick 5. And interested to see how you start this race. Did you go with the 6 on top?
I didn't. I went with the 8, but to be honest, Ron, this is a race that I really wanted to be able to look at him beforehand because there's not a lot to go on. Pedigree-wise, there's not a lot to go on. Race experience-wise, Antonio Sano, as you so duly noted, that he's looking for his 1,000th win. We're at 999 right now.
He's got to carry you today, then.
Well, we'll see about it. Maybe I should demote this horse down a little bit. But I liked the race last time out. He was way too far out of it. He can't be that far out of it this time around here. But I like the post, and I like that he's primed a bit better for this.
Well, let's show that workout you have with Gates Pond before I talk about the 7 horse, and here it's currently up there at 7-1.
Yeah, this is for the Brian Lynch barn here, and this horse here, at least on the grass, handled it very well, very easy. He's a good-looking horse. He's very balanced, just a well put together colt here, a Candy Ride colt, and he's just leaving his workmate in the dust. It's hard to debut going 2 turns. Brian Lynch does a very good job with his trainees. Watch the tote board with that guy.
Yeah. It's always got to watch the tote. I want to talk a little bit about Classy War. Now, you remember this race that this horse came out of, got ridden today by Jose Ortiz into ride, and this horse was okay in that race, but that Royal Palm Juvenile turned out to be a real one. We went over to overseas and won a race. Gabaldon.
Yeah, Gabaldon ran really good overseas.
Second,
at
right?
Ascot, yep. But a horse that we haven't seen in a long time. That this is a big layoff to just jump into 2 turns, but he's been gelded since, of course. He gets Lasix for the first time for the racing activity, and one that definitely looks like he's going to be in the mix.
We got to mention just real quick the horse that's currently 2-1. That's Buzz Rocket. This one is a half to California Chrome.
Yeah. But this horse to me, if you can't, he's shown nothing on the dirt. We got to see. He's not his half brother on the dirt. That's
somebody
for sure.
likes him early on today. Let's go to race number 2 this afternoon, and this one here is a 5.5 furlong sprint maiden. Claimers scratch the 6 and the 7. And there's a couple of ways you can go in here with the 1 and the 2. We got our exacta flip-flop. You got the 1 Instagram girl on top.
Yeah, this is my best bet today here. Okay. This filly, she's going to try the main track for the first time. I like this move here. She's just been on the Tapeta. They put the blinkers on. I don't really think that, I don't really read too much into that at all because she's run fine without him here. Not too keen on the post, but she's got speed. We'll see how she fares on the dirt track. She's fit, so we'll see.
Yeah, and I went with Grand Golden Road just off that performance. A little bit of a drop. I've been calling this a lateral mood, 17.5 to 12.5. And, the barn is good. Maiden's making the second start, 26%. Shows some speed, getting Lasix like most 3-year-olds are doing. Yeah. So that's an interesting race. I think those are the logical 2.
I think so.
We'll go to race number 3 this afternoon. We're going to stretch it out to 1 mile and 1/16 on the all-weather Tapeta. And I went with the number 10, Rapture Bay. We'll start with your 5, and that's Blaze of Color.
Well, Blaze, I lost my top pick.
Oh.
Pardon me, actually, just kidding. No, I didn't.
No.
That was the one. Sorry. That's another race. But Blaze of Color, this is a drop in class, which I think is important for this horse because he didn't show anything last time out. It was a tough post position from that rail draw, though. I just think he's trending in the right direction now, second start with the barn.
You know, you look at Victor Barboza talking about the 10 Rap Chevet. First off the claim, he's got ungodly numbers, 35%.
Yeah.
He's always 35 or 40. You're getting around Ortiz Jr., got to deal with that post slip. It ran okay. Now going to his barn, I think that horse is going to run well. One of the horses you certainly have to have on your ticket. And then, like I have some interest in Iron Man Jimmy for Joe Orsino. Horse came off the bench and ran pretty well.
Very well, and I think he's just going to improve off of that, right?
Yeah, you would think second off the bench he would run well in there. So that is race number 3 this afternoon. We'll go to race number 4, and this is a 6-furlong sprint on the fast main track. These are maiden claiming 3-year-olds. No scratches, but please note the number 4, Gripon, is now a gelding. How did you go here? You went to the inside again with Love Hate.
This is my long shot today. Yeah, Love Hate. At the Sail Breeze, 10-1 when it was 92 degrees. So think about how the Tapeta, how sticky that would have been in Ocala that day. So what a good breeze. Sold for $50,000 for Maximum Mischief. That's not bad at all. She was breezing on December 1st with a horse named Simo, who won first time out for $35,000. But this horse was working way better than Simo, which is why Simo was in 35.
Right.
This horse is in for the 50. I'm not really a huge fan of the rail here, but I like her a lot. And Kathleen O'Connell, she's been having a fantastic start to the meet.
Yeah, she had a couple of horses run exceptionally well. You know, I have that horse on the ticket.
Good.
You know, but I went with the number 6, El Guti, I think it's pronounced, and Todd Fletcher. And look, on my paper, I got a question mark. I don't know what I'm going to get. You know, you just connections alone. You get an IRED. You know the horse is going to take money. If you want it, you got a good outside draw going 3/4 of a mile. And, you know, the horse step, other one is Back in Business, I think is the other logical one, who's actually the morning line favorite. Carlos David ran okay in its debut.
Well, so here's some food for thought, and this was Brian's single. Back in Business is coming out of the SEMO race that I mentioned that the number 1 was working with. So there you go. Maybe I'll talk Brian into using the 1 too.
Yeah, he could add on his. What's 54? So I don't know how much he's going to add on his ticket. We're going to go to race number 5, and this one's going to be 5.5 furlongs on the Tapeta. Starter optional claimer, fillies 3-year-olds, and we're going to scratch the 1 Edith, probably one of the better scratches.
Yeah.
I mean, scratches that mattered today.
Yeah.
And, you know, different ways you can go. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. But we got a video of all, I think, the whole field almost, it seems like.
Yeah,
Blonde Jack, Garuda, Pop Style, Light the Torch.
Yep, we've got them all here. Light the Torch. What a horse, a filly she's kind of turned into on the Tapeta. She's just really exceeded and excelled. Then there's Right Angle out the back there. Right Angle is not where she needs to be at all, but Light the Torch wins this race. Garuda's the 4 horse, just picking up some ground late, and that's who I have on top today because I think that Garuda will be a bit more forward today, and of course all of these adding LASIK. So you look at horses like Garuda or Blonde Jack finishing 3rd there, you would expect them to take a step forward today.
You know, Blonde Jack I put on top.
Yeah.
I went back and looked at that race from the beginning, and it looks like that horse just broke bad. I don't know how much it cost that horse during the stretch run. So I just, you know, we got basically the same numbers up there. You know, if you want to use you saw them all in that race. Basically what you have to do for the 5th race. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll have my Rainbow Six and my voice back. Let's go.
They're off.
Win big with new DRF All Access Past Performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views. Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access Past Performances. Go to DRF.com and use Use coupon code ONEFREEPP for a free single card today.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Ron and Samantha, the pick 5 pool, just starting to build a little over $35,000. If you're just joining us, fast main track, firm turf course. Things are looking real good for today. We got a couple of really nice stakes races.
Yep.
So let's look at my Rainbow Six ticket today, and it is $48.60. We'll talk about the 6th race. The 7th race, my little bit of a long shot is the 9 Mailman Money for Kelly Breen, Johnny Velasquez. In race number 8, it is the number 8 Just Relax on top, and I got some coverage. Same thing in race number 9. My top pick is Navy SEAL 6-1 for Wesley Ward. There's my single, Guns Loaded. Very impressed with that horse's maiden victory. And in the last, I got 3 there. I think the logical ones, as far as I saw with the turf, with the 4, the 10, the 8, and that's the 14th running of the Ginger Brew with Corretto on top of my ticket.
I like it. That's fantastic. Those are the 3 that I used in my tropical turf pick 3.
That's right.
And we'll take a look at that. It's expensive here. There are ways that you could maybe go about this a different direction, and we'll get into it. But this race, the 1, 2, and 3 look like the main players here. Race number 9 a little bit later. That's a competitive race. I do have the 3 on top. That's Echo Lane. I think he's rounding out in the right way right now. And then in race 11, I've got Nitrogen, I've got Corretto, and I have Civetta, who has the recency edge. Now, if you want to not believe in the Breeders' Cup races, you can toss the Nitrogen and toss Corretto, and go with a horse that we know is come back fine and in good form. Yeah. So there's different ways you can play this, but what an incredible bet to play. It's 15% takeout, $3 minimum. That is why it is a more expensive price, and man, these payouts are big.
And it's payouts are great, and it's a real good sequence. So when it's good, they bet it.
Yes.
Getting to this race this afternoon, let's start it off with after taxes in here, who I have on top of my ticket. I just think this is the right one. Going to stretch out for Wesley Ward. I think we got a replay we want to show of this horse.
Yeah, we do, and we'll take a look at it here. This was at Aqueduct, and you look at the fractions that this horse was firing away at 22 and 3 here. This is tough, and the speed plays well with this rail setting at Aqueduct this day. And this was a huge effort, Ron, by this horse. This was off of a bit of a layoff, had not been seen since Saratoga midsummer, and then came back to finish second here, and just flat to Demat, the number 4, just came and nipped him right at the end here. But this is going 6 furlongs. Now we're going to stretch out to 2 turns. What do you get with Wesley Ward going 2 turns?
Well, a limited sampling, he's 31% in the win column. So you would think you can get, with him going from sprint to route on the turf.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the way to go. But I like the horse that you used that you're going to use on top, and you're going to get a little bit of a price, and that is the 3 Verses in here. So second time start, from Kelly Breen, who ran well.
Yeah, really well. Another one that needed the race experience. First time out, it's hard to debut going 2 turns. Kelly Breen's not one that usually pops first time out anyway. Second time out, very, very good at that. David Egan will stay aboard, which I like a lot. This horse galloped out really well. He just got into some trouble. I hope for a cleaner trip today. Now, that being said, I don't think that was the strongest race we're going to run here.
No, it wasn't. Didn't get a really big number. But, I saw the turf course yesterday. It might have changed a little bit. Horses were coming from off the turf.
Yeah.
We only ran 2, so you can't write this down and say,
right.
oh, yeah, it changed. But we had a couple of horses that were able to close off there. So just going in, that's what maybe this horse will do. Before you had to have speed. It was, paramount.
Exactly.
You had to have it. Number 2, Swirling Eights, we both have some interest in. And this one from Mike Maker, good performance. Comes in from Churchill, gets beat 3/4 of a length.
Yeah, it was sad. Look, this horse honestly had no excuse. He's had a perfect trip, played really well to the way the track was playing, and then just couldn't see it through. But that was the first start on the grass course here at Gulfstream. Louis Saez is going to ride here today, which Louis Saez was aboard him in the past, so you would think that there's going to be a strong finich today.
We're going to get speed with after taxes.
Yep.
We're certainly going to get speed with Swirling Eights. Might set up for Papa Golf off that performance at Aqueduct, where this one closed for Todd Pletcher, and going to get LASIX today.
Yeah, that's huge. You get IRAD too, which is another huge asset. It's
So-
also be a short price.
We'll go to race number 7. We're going to stretch it out to 1 mile and 70 yards on the Topita. And Samantha has her late pick 5 ticket. Scratch the 10, by the way.
Yeah, I do. And competitive sequence. I'm excited to play it here today. It's a $54 play. We'll get into this race in a moment. Race number 8. I do have the 8 on top. And thank you guys for fixing that leg for me. Race number 9. I do have the 3 on top. That's Echo Lane. Race 10, there's my single, Cool Intentions. I really do love this horse today. Liked him last time. I know Brian likes him a lot too. And in race number 11, I do have Nitrogen on top, but I also have the 2 that Ron is using as Rainbow 6. I've got Savetta with the recency and Coretto, who's coming out of the Nitrogen race.
Yeah, I like that. So we'll see how those horses run. That's a really good feature race.
Very
we can say
good.
it that way. Getting back to race number 8 this afternoon, 6.5 furlongs. These are maidens. And you went with the 6, so let's start with the Caracas.
Well,
All right, race 7.
yes, sorry. Anesto. This is 2 Bobby DeBona trainees in the race here. And this horse was not really that great at all last time out, but I'm willing to excuse that because he has run a lot better on the Topita in the past. If Irad Ortiz is going to jump aboard, there's some intent. I'm using both of the Bobby DeBona horses in my ticket.
I used Mailman Money, as I mentioned. This one, my little bit of a long shot, dropping in half, ran for 20, showed some speed last time out for Kelly Breen. The horses run well on the Topita. 2 starts, a win and
Yeah.
a third. And, you're getting John Velasquez in the saddle. So 5-1, I think you might even get a little bit more, and then
You
I'm
might.
not positive. Because, it doesn't really show them much. And Kelly started real slow at the meet, so
Yes.
maybe this wakes him up this afternoon. Then you got the 3 horse, and that's Valentine Bug.
First off the claim here, the Mirage Barn has been pretty slow off the claim, but hasn't reached in a lot. But I think the Swan Lake race is a strong race. 10 Melik was who I had on top. That was the race I was thinking of. But I like the Melik race, so I want to take horses out of that race.
So you look there, we're all over the
Yeah,
board.
this is a tough race.
So just go deep. If you have, if you can find a single somewhere in your tickets, make sure you use it in there because race number 7, pretty tough.
It is.
Let's go to race number 8, 6.5 furlongs. These are maidens. Scratch the 5, loud applause. And how did you go here?
Well,
we got Brian's pick 4 ticket.
I'll go through the pick 4 here. It's at $12. He's got the same single as me with Cool Intentions. He's got 4, 6, and 10 in the Ginger Brew. That's Coretto, Disco Star, and Nitrogen. I like Disco Star is my 4th choice, so I like this. It's a $12 ticket. Heck, punch it a couple times if you want. We're starting out with a really competitive maiden special weight in this race here.
Yeah, it's really a different way to go. How did you see this race and started off?
I went with the 8 just for relax. You have that one on.
Yeah.
You're the same as me. Came off that layoff in reality stakes, and this was a horse we all kind of like. I remember doing the video. We talked about this horse. Of course, rated by Merit, such a good horse. I love the cutback here today. I think sprinting is right down his alley, and we're back with maidens.
Yeah, back with maidens. I wanted to, let's go to talk about the 7 here first before we get to horse. We have a work on. He's the Beast, who's half to a full to a famous horse around here.
Yeah, he is, and he's a snappy mover. The work, I believe, is from the 17th of November, maybe, guys? Do we have a work? I think, 17th of November. Look, the horse on the inside he's working with is nothing to write home about. This was well over a month ago. He's very, very forward. I'm not a huge fan of this post position here because horses tend to break towards daylight, especially first-time starters, being a 3-year-old starting. But he's been working really well. He's light on his feet, quick action. He's one I think you definitely have to use.
Yeah, he's a half to Noble Drama.
Yes.
I mean, Noble Drama made $876,000 the hard way.
Yeah.
That was a hard-knocking campaign, of course, trained by David Fawkes, and this one being trained by David Fawkes. Getting back just to touch on the 7 again, Oleg for Jorge Delgado. Horse ran okay, going to cut back to 6.5 today.
Yep, I like that move here, especially the cutback. An untrustworthy horse, though, just in general, I think.
Real good turf race is race number 9, 1 mile allowance optional claimer, and there's a scratch at the 9, 14 and 15. Please note the 13 gets in. Joe Bravo is going to ride. You started, I know you like Echo Lane in this this spot?
I do a lot, and this kicks off that coast-to-coast pick 5, which is
Right.
3 from Gulfstream today. This race and the 2 features, the Mucho Macho Man and the Ginger Brew. So
Wow.
excited for that. But Echo Lane, look, this horse has been running so well. Everything they throw at him, he does it with ease. He's got a recent win. Now, that was at Churchill, but he's 2 for 3 across this grass course. Why not?
I guess I'm on the Wesley Ward bandwagon.
You are,
because
yeah.
I got Navy SEAL on top of my ticket this afternoon, the Irish bred. I just thought this, horse ran well. If you look at his races in Europe, you're saying, well, this is a firm course. You see, he won in Europe on that hard course.
Yeah.
Hard course over there is like our horse here, not hard. It's
Exactly.
not. So, but I think this horse can run well. He got beat, that half a length going 8 furlongs in that tough allowance at Churchill Downs.
It was a really competitive, and it was just a narrow defeat here, too. And it was a really competitive race. Gerardo Corrales rode him really, really well. Now we'll get Johnny Velasquez aboard, who's he's right-hand man for Mr. Wesley Ward.
And I know Brian said that he wants us to show this work or video of an Irish Dream. He thinks if you're looking for a long shot, maybe you use this horse. That's the number 12 today. So let's see what it is. You can see this horse running right now.
Yeah, Iris's Dream ran this race after having a few months off here. This was a huge effort and very well ridden by jockey Jorge Ruiz here. This race, in hindsight, I don't know how strong it was. It was a state breds, and now we're going to open. But the way that this horse leveled out this last 16th was very impressive.
Yeah, no, it was very impressive. We talked about speed. He was able to sit and pounce and and Brian's right. Of course, you're looking, especially when you're putting your tickets that are going this way, the rate pick 5 or the pick 4. Maybe you throw in a horse like knock a lot of people out. Anything else before we go to the Mucho Macho Man?
Well, I think the 6 Rambling Wreck is maybe one to include, too. Coming off of a little bit of a layoff, but Danny Gargan off to a really good start here, too.
Yeah, his horse is running exceptionally well. Race number 10 this afternoon. This 1 mile, the 14th running of the Mucho Macho Man. $165,000. Rolando and Naughty Rascal will not compete. They've been scratched out of the race. You have the number 5, Cool Intentions, so we'll start with that video first.
Yeah, we'll start with this. This was a very competitive allowance race. Of course, Rolando will not play in this game here today, but that's all right because Cool Intentions still should get a perfect setup. They went 23 and 47, and I think the faster they go on the front end for Cool Intentions, the better it is. This horse doesn't have to do a lot, and he did it very easily. He quickened nicely. You see just David Egan there. He didn't even uncock his stick at him. He just hand rode him, really. See there, he never turns his stick over on the horse, which is great. He's been training well since then. I think this is going to be a real. He already is a nice horse. I think we're going to continue to see him.
And that was the horse's second consecutive victory.
Exactly.
So the horse is in good form. A lot of horses here are recent maiden winners, including my top pick and my best bet, Gun Loaded. Let's show the replay of Guns Loaded.
This was huge at Churchill, wasn't it?
Yep.
This was a big race. These connections, Jose D'Angelo and the More Play Racing, they took some horses over to Churchill Downs to run across that track, and he played out to his speed. Look, Churchill can be a very speedy track, and the fractions here were 21 and 2, 44 and 3. And you see he's a little green. There's a horse kind of giving him some pressure on the outside, and I think that's what kind of caused him to just be hanging a little bit on the rail, just something close to him. And he's a young horse. This was only his second start, but to handle the ship, to handle a little bit of a layoff, and then to come back and run like this behind a pretty good horse, the third place finisher, Ain't No Disco, came back to win here for Brian Lynch.
And Guns Loaded, I remember that horse's race at Saratoga when it was finished second. I said that wasn't a horse I'm going to watch. And sure enough, because it was Jose D'Angelo, kept an extra eye on it because he's our local guy in here. So a horse like that you can use. Now, the other horse in here that we got a video is the horse I have in second, and that's Septarian, this one from Chad Brown. We also have a video we want to show you this.
Well, this is a private purchase here from Resolute Racing into the Chad Brown barn, and you can see the spot that he's in right here. Now, this is a trainer, Javier Contreras, who's 15% on the year here, and you're moving to the Chad Brown barn. coming off of 2 wins, he's done nothing wrong in his 2 starts now. That was going 4.5. This was going 6. He's one that could set a nice trip because he's taken dirt to the face before. That's a big asset to have here. He was a little late to switch his leads and just kind of hanging a little bit on that inside horse, but he gets going and he does it well. It should be interesting to see how he'll change going into the Chad Brown barn.
Yeah, I got it in second, but if you want to play devil's advocate, those 2 races, one was at Charlestown, the other one was at Laurel, but they thought enough of this horse to, I guess, privately purchase it and give it to Chad Brown. So they're expecting good things from this horse. So we'll see how that works out in there. And what about, we talked about the 1. Anybody else you want to talk about? And what about the 3 McKellen?
Well, this is another one. So I remember watching this race at Churchill. This horse was lugging in so bad, and it was such an unusual thing for him because whenever he won on debut here at Gulfstream before going to Churchill, he did it very professionally, and then he faced winners at Churchill, which was a very competitive race, by the way, and just would not get off that horse to his inside. And I remember I asked Jose D'Angelo about it afterwards. I was like, where did that come from? And he said, I have no idea. He's never done that before in his life. We get IRAD today, so that's some food for thought here.
Yeah, so we'll see how it runs today. And you got other good horses in there. Treaty of Rome is a bit of a price from Chad Brown. That's a full to Donna Veloce, who was second in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf, I believe.
Yeah.
Juvenile, Breeders' Cup Juvenile. So lots of good horses. Great race. Let's go to our final race of the afternoon. Things get even better.
They do.
This is a mile on the turf. It's the 14th running of the Ginger Brew. 165. Scratch the 1, the 5, and the 13. You'll see those horses tomorrow. So I wanted to race it.
Yeah, in the mandatory rainbow.
In the mandatory rainbow. That's absolutely right. So number 10 is Nitrogen. Let's take a look.
Let's take a look. Yeah, this was a huge effort. This horse, very last minute, the connections found out that she was going to be able to run in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies, and it was an interesting ride. She made a few different moves, and when you see her, she's still behind a wall of horses there. At no point did it look like she was going to be able to weave through traffic like she did, and when she kicks on, it was impressive. You see her, she's the 2. She's kind of hard to find for a little bit. Now, Corretto's making up some ground late, but look at Nitrogen. When she gets some clear sailing, she kicks off.
I mean, you read her last line, and she was like 13th in that race,
Yeah.
going back. So she was very impressive winning that race there. But we got a horse. So well, let's go. Yeah, we'll go with the 8 seconds. Savetta will show that replay from Brendan Walsh. And this is the one you're talking about that has the recency.
It does. He does. And he didn't have to, did not have to do a lot to win this race. You look at Irad and where his hands are. At no point was he ever in doubt about winning this race. You see him, this is in the Wait a While Stakes. He gets some clear running room and then just kicks away. Now, Winning Street ran her eyeballs out here, but Savetta really only had to run for an 1/8 of a mile, and she puts Winning Street away. Now, Winning Street will be in this race here today as well. So
post 11 today. Well, couple of scratches to his inside. We're not done yet. We got another video we want to show you, and that's of the 2 Love Severe. I think it's pronounced, and it's Christophe Clement with those French names. Tyler Gaffalione in the saddle.
Well, now gets the rail, which is not ideal with the scratch of the 1 who we'll see tomorrow, but this was a pretty good effort here going 6 furlongs. And if Christophe Clement is going to stretch a horse out in a stakes race right after the maiden victory, I think that's something to take note of for sure. A big price this day. As far as the race and the quality goes, I don't know how strong this race was. But this was a pretty good effort, and I think the longer the better here.
Yeah, looks like one of those sorts of bred to run, into mischief, bred to run all day.
Yeah.
So you're going to get that stretched out. So it's just an incredible race in there that you can go so many different ways.
Yeah.
Nitrogen, off that performance, you would think unbelievable. A lot of people don't like to bet horses coming out of the Breeders' Cup first race back.
Listen, I don't either. It's tough. You saw it with Soul of an Angel a few weeks ago. It takes a little bit to get their feet back under them, but they've given enough time with horses like Corretto and Nitrogen, and the works seem like everything is on track here. Really quickly, what do you think of the 12 here? Good Long Cry.
Good Long Cry. George Weaver, wow, what a performance last time,
Yeah.
all right? So you go, he wins by 6 1/4 lengths. So, and you know, if we're right, this horse can overcome the pitfalls associated with that outside post with
Exactly.
the 2 scratches and its ability to be right up on or with the pace. So yeah, and there's another horse. What's the odds on that horse? You know, 8-1, John Velasquez.
Yeah.
Why not?
It was a huge effort last time. Now, who did she beat? Not a lot, I don't think, but this is a nice filly.
Yeah, you look at her races at Saratoga. She's right there. Or every play, you know,
Yep.
you back off a little bit for post 12, so she got lucky with the 2 scratches.
She did, yes.
To her inside and got the tactical speed. And boy, George Weaver, all his horses are running exceptionally
Yes.
well. So another good horse you can use in the 11th race.
Yep.
And you can go on and go on. You know who you want. You know, you
You
can go.
could.
You can go with Disco Scar. What does this one do? Wins at 6 furlongs at Aqueduct. You know,
Yep.
very impressive. So. What I see is an awful lot of speed in this race,
There
and
is.
the Nitrogen might be the lucky one if she can come off the pace like that again.
Yeah, exactly. And you said it yesterday with our 2 grass races we had. They just seemed a bit more even playing field for sure. And I think the turf setting being at 24 feet evens that out a bit as well.
Yeah, you're just a very interesting card and very fun card. This is going to be great.
It is.
Especially with the tropical turf pick 3, the Rainbow 6, and we mentioned a couple of times mandatory payout in the Rainbow 6 tomorrow, but we got to get through today, and we got to look at our lightning round for sure.
Yeah, and that'll just recap everything that you just said. You said it. The payout tomorrow, mandatory payout in this Rainbow 6, and it's going to be big, Ron. It's not easy either.
No, it's not easy. I just put my ticket together before scratches, $86.40. I could have made it $286.
Yeah, I could have too, maybe, and added a 0 behind it. It's not for the weary, but it's such a fun bet. So get involved with that tomorrow. It starts in race 5. We've got some video out there of that and some thoughts, and of course we've got some long shot plays as well.
Yeah, we got a couple of long shot plays in there. As Samantha mentioned, we got the coast to coast this afternoon.
Yeah, and in the tropical turf pick 3, which starts off at the same time as your Rainbow 6
Yeah,
pick.
and you had a real nice ticket. You could see $3 minimum wage always pays a lot. Now we'll talk about the coast to coast.
Yeah, it's 3 races here from Gulfstream today. So 9, 10, and 11. Just a 2-hour window here. It's going to kick off at Santa Anita, so make sure to take note of that. I'm sure we'll have a TV on here somewhere letting you know where it is, but where they're at in their card. But 4:02 in the Eastern time.
Yeah, if you handicap Gulfstream today and you're listening to us, you only have to handicap 2 races at Santa Anita. It's
Exactly.
an easy day for you
It
after you've
is.
already done all the work. So.
It is indeed. And what a fun bet to get involved with.
Yeah, I know you hit a couple of them already. They pay very nicely.
They do. Yes, they really do.
Your best bet today?
It is in the second race with Instagram Girl.
And my best bet is in a little later on. It's Guns Loaded in the
like it.
feature race, one of the feature races. They have 5-2. See if that horse can do what it did last time. And you're a long shot.
It's the Kathleen O'Connell trainee in race 4, Love Hate.
And mine is Mailman Money.
Mailman Money.
Mailman Money, 5-1 on the line. I think we might get a little bit more. It's a tough race in
It
there.
is.
That is race number 7. So we did it.
That's it?
Yeah, we showed every video. Brian didn't think we could do it.
No, but we did it. We showed him, and hopefully we showed you all and gave you some insight into this fantastic card today.
Good luck.